Good morning. Everyone's audio good? Excellent. We'll start with just the COVID update. We have 2 new cases of COVID-19 in Queensland, both in hotel quarantine, people who've travelled overseas, one from PNG and one from Pakistan. And Queensland Health Queensland Health and our pathology services did 3,596 tests in the last 24-hour period, meaning we have 27 active cases. And that continued good news on the COVID front means more of our lives can get back to normal. One of the most important days in the Australian calendar is, of course, Anzac Day. And last year, Anzac Day was heavily disrupted by the lockdown and the other measures we put in place to get on top of the pandemic. And the fact that we have such low numbers now means Anzac Day can start to get back to closer to normal. And many, many marches and ceremonies will go ahead next weekend, as well as the Light the Dawn commemoration that we started last year, started as a grassroots movement supported by the RSL and by the Queensland government. And so what we're saying to people this Anzac Day is communities and individuals and families have choices about how they commemorate this day. They can do it the way they normally would, or they can light the dawn. And so perhaps this Sunday is a good time to reflect on what your plans for next weekend will be, exactly how you plan to recognise the contributions Australians have made to the way of life that we enjoy right now. I want to acknowledge the role our Assistant Minister for Veterans Affairs, Bart Mellish, and the RSL have played working together to ensure that communities and RSLs are aware of their choices and the arrangements that will need to be put in place next weekend. And so I might invite them both now to say a few words about it.
Thank you, Deputy Premier. It is really great, a good reminder today, a week out from Anzac Day, that Anzac Day is good to go in 2021. Last year, of course, we weren't able to commemorate in the usual way, and we saw the really great Light Up the Dawn initiative, which RSL Queensland promoted heavily and everyone really enjoyed. It's great that this year we can do that again, and we can also commemorate in the usual way. So no restrictions on outdoor events commemorating Anzac Day, so marches, dawn services, other services throughout the day. It's really great news. So I encourage people to, a week out now, work out what their plans are next week and really commemorate the day in the best way that they see fit. It's really great that we can go ahead, and I really look forward to myself going to my local services. And thanks for Tony from RSL Queensland for being here today. It should be a really great Anzac Day in 2021. Cheers.
Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Just from my perspective as the State President of RSL Queensland, it's absolutely fantastic that we'll be going through normalcy next Sunday for Anzac Day. I encourage all Queenslanders to get to a dawn service. If you can't get to a dawn service, get to a march. Failing that, please go out, light up the dawn, similar to what we did last year. And I encourage everybody to just take that time to commemorate those that have given and those that are currently giving. Thank you. Sure.
Tony, you see, now that we are able to hold services as we were pre-COVID, are you seeing more come back, or is there some attrition of those services that just decided to?
So some of the services actually have been stalled as a result of COVID-19 restrictions. They've been left with such a short time span as well to actually go forward and promote the event, but there are still a great number of events still going on.
What numbers is the RSL expecting?
I would expect.
Previous years or bigger?
Look, I would expect large numbers to attend Anzac Day this year. Obviously, I think because of restrictions last year, I think we'll see greater numbers turn out this year. But again, if you don't feel well, please don't turn up, because that then puts everything back to square one. But I would expect the great majority of sub-branches in Queensland will go ahead and hold some form of service.
In years gone by, we've seen this area completely packed to the brim, people shoulder to shoulder for the dawn service. Is that going to be different this year? Are you going to be telling people to socially distance?
I think Queenslanders have been very well educated over the past 12 months, and I think you'll find them self-educating. They will actually make the distance themselves, and I'm sure you'll probably even see people wearing masks just to turn around and protect themselves and others.
And in terms of the parade, I know it's not necessarily organised by yourself, but there are concerns that veterans simply won't turn up this year being forced to register to participate in the march. Are you concerned about that?
I don't have any concern in Queensland because there's no restrictions in Queensland as to who can turn up to march.
Do you think this is the safest place to march?
I certainly do. I think it's the greatest place to march.
So will there be any noticeable differences here, the major circumstances?
I don't think you'll see any noticeable changes at all. I think the only things you'll see is a great number of people attending a great event.
We saw it suspended last year. How much does it mean to the veterans to be able to have it back here again next week?
Look, that's hair on the back of your neck stuff. It's overwhelming for the veterans to actually be able to get back out into their community, be a part of their community, and for the community to actually thank them for doing what they've done.
Just on that note about the fact that people have to register to march, are you concerned about that? Have you heard any numbers through the government about how many people are turning up or won't turn up for the Anzac Day parade?
No, I think Queenslanders are well used to having to do things a little bit differently now, but that's one of the ways we've been able to get back to normal. And I think people have gotten really good at washing their hands, using masks when that's appropriate. And look, I think this is a really good news story. I think it's great that our communities can come together and recognise Anzac Day. As I say, it's a really important day in our calendar.
What's the logic? I assume that people watching the march are going to register, so how then does it make sense to have to register the march?
I'm not aware of the specific across the
So
march
as far
requirements.
as I'm aware, the only reason
Sorry.
So the reason behind people actually marching, registering, is so that we've got access to those individuals should something occur. Obviously, if you show symptoms, we would ask you to go and be tested, of course. But it's just a means of having some level of control over what could occur if it gets worse.
So it's almost like using the Queensland check-in.
Yep, 100%.
I've got more questions. Stephen, just on another note, there are concerns about that $400,000 paid to Secure Gillespie of to do advisory work. Is there concerns about that level of money being spent if you're trying to cut the budget?
Independent statutory authorities make their own decisions about their budgets, and all of that is then outlined in the budget documents that will be released later this year.
I think that's a reasonable amount of time to pay an advisor.
Without having the detail of how that decision was made, these are independent statutory authorities and they make their own decisions about how they expend the funds provided to them in their budgets. Very good.
Walk down the stairs or walk up the stairs?